What would you do if the man you abandoned for wealth suddenly appeared years later, not as the brilliant lover you once knew, but as a madman on the streets of Lagos? This is the story of Chioma, a woman torn between the husband she married for money and the man she left behind, only to discover that true love never dies. This is not just a story about love. It's about betrayal, secrets, and the heavy price of lies. And before the end, you'll ask yourself one question. Was wealth worth the sacrifice of true love? Before we continue, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any part of this emotional story. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and drop your thoughts in the comments below, because after hearing what happens next, you will want to choose a side. Now, let's begin. It was a Saturday evening in Lagos. Chioma had just left a glamorous wedding party at Eco Hotel. Her head tie was perfectly styled, her gown glittered, and her perfume filled the air inside her black Range Rover. She felt like a queen as her driver drove her through the streets of Victoria Island. Suddenly, traffic slowed, horns blared, cars refused to move. A crowd had gathered ahead, causing a complete hold-up. A madman had snatched the woman's handbag and was fighting with passers-by. Curiosity drew people closer. They mocked him, slapped him, threw stones. The man fought wildly, his hair dirty, his beard thick, his clothes torn. Chioma, sitting in the backseat of her car, saw what was going on. At first, she ignored it. But something deep in her spirit pushed her to step out. She pushed her driver aside, walked towards the crowd, and then she froze. Her bag slipped from her hand, her lips trembled, her heart pounded like a drum. The madman, that face, it was Emeka. Her first love, her only true love. Chioma's knees weakened, the world around her blurred. People shouted, "Madman! Beat him! Tie him up!" But she screamed, her voice cracking, "Stop! Stop! Don't hurt him! He's my cousin!" For a moment, memories flashed before her eyes. His laughter during their school days, his gentle voice telling her to eat before exams, his tears the day she left him. Chioma rushed forward. "Please, stop! Don't hurt him!" she shouted at the angry crowd. She quickly paid a young man to give the robbed lady some money and begged her to let the issue go. Reluctantly, the people stepped back, leaving the madman alone. Emeka stood there trembling, still holding the torn bag, staring blankly into space. He didn't even recognize her. Chioma's eyes filled with tears. The man she once loved, the man she abandoned for wealth, was now standing before her as a shadow of himself. Shocking, isn't it? Just when Chioma thought she could hide the truth, fate pulled her deeper into a storm she could never escape. If this story has already pulled you in, go ahead and hit the like button right now. It motivates us to bring you more powerful stories. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell, because the next twist will leave you speechless. Share this video so others can join in, and tell us in the comments what you would do if you were in Chioma's shoes. Now, let's continue. That night, Chioma could not sleep. Tears streamed down her face as memories flooded her mind. Years earlier, back in the university, Chioma was just a simple girl with big dreams. She met Emeka, a brilliant economics student, under a mango tree. Emeka was not rich. His shoes were worn, his shirts faded, but he was kind, selfless, and determined. He tutored students late into the night, just to buy Chioma textbooks. He often skipped meals so he could pay her bus fare. And when she fell sick during exams, he nursed her with nothing but gari and groundnut, whispering, "Chioma, don't worry, one day I'll make you proud. We'll build a life together." And she believed him. She gave him her heart completely. But after graduation, reality hit hard.
Chioma got a job in a bank. Emeka searched endlessly for work but found nothing. Poverty clung to him like a curse. Then came Ikenna, a wealthy businessman, much older, powerful, with a mansion in Ikoyi. He showered Chioma with gold, clothes, money, and even gifts for her parents. Her friends laughed at her for staying with a poor man like Emeka. Her parents pressured her day and night.
Chioma, Emeka cannot feed you. Don't waste your youth. Choose a better life. One night, in Emeka's small apartment, with rain falling heavily outside, Chioma cried as she whispered the words that broke his soul. Emeka, love is not enough. I need a better life. I can't suffer forever. That was how she left him and married Ikenna. It was around 12 midnight. Still she couldn't sleep. With tears on her face, she stood up, grabbed her car keys, and sneaked out of her mansion, drove back to the spot where she last saw him, and searched until she found him lying under a bridge. Quietly, she helped him into her car and drove straight to a private hospital. Her hands trembled on the steering wheel as tears rolled down her cheeks. For the first time in many years, Chioma felt the heavy weight of her past choices.
Quietly, she admitted him into a private hospital under a false name. For weeks, she visited daily, hiding the truth from her husband. Slowly, with care, therapy, and medication, Emeka began to recover. Then, one evening, as she sat by his bed, his eyes cleared. He looked at her long and hard, tears filling his eyes. Chioma, you? So it's true. You left me, and I died. Depression killed me. I lost my mind because the woman I loved more than life itself abandoned me. Chioma's chest tightened. She broke down in tears. At first, it was only care. Chioma told herself she was only helping him out of guilt. But the more she stayed with him, the more the old fire rekindled. Their conversations grew deeper. Their silences grew heavier. One night, weakness took over. Their lips met, and they crossed a line they could never return from. So, after Chioma rescued Emeka from the street and cared for him, she noticed he was improving day by day. His speech returned, his memory sharpened, and his strength came back. But she wanted more for him, not just recovery, but a future. So one evening, she told him softly, Emeka, you will not remain here. You deserve better. I will send you to the US for proper treatment and for your master's degree. That is my gift to you for all the sacrifices you made for me. Emeka looked at her with tears in his eyes. He still loved her, despite all that had happened. Chioma, you're still the Chioma I knew. God bless you. Soon, Emeka left for the US, grateful and hopeful. A few months later, Chioma missed her period. Her heart pounded when the test showed positive. She sat in her room, trembling, holding the kit in her hand. I'm carrying Emeka's child, but she was married to Ikenna. What would she do? When Ikenna returned from a business trip, she pretended excitement. My husband, God has remembered us after so many years of waiting. I am pregnant. Ikenna's eyes widened with joy. He hugged her tightly. Finally, God has done it. Chioma, you will deliver this baby abroad where everything will be safe. I will pay for it. Chioma smiled weakly, hiding the storm in her heart. When Chioma arrived in the US, she didn't go straight to the hospital. Instead, she called Emeka. When he saw her, he froze. Chioma? You came. She placed his hands on her stomach and whispered, Emeka, this child belongs to you. Emeka's knees grew weak. He hugged her, crying, God has given me back everything I lost, my sanity, my future, and now my own blood. They stayed together secretly until the baby was born, a bouncing baby boy. After 1 year, Chioma returned to Nigeria with her son. Ikenna welcomed them with open arms, believing the boy was his long-awaited miracle. He threw a small thanksgiving, praising God for answering prayers. Chioma played her role as wife, but her conscience tormented her every day. Unable to bear the guilt any longer, Chioma traveled to her family village. That evening, she sat before her parents and siblings, her son in her arms, tears running down her face. "Papa, Mama, I have sinned. I never loved Ikena. I married him for his money. For years, I could not conceive for him, but when I reunited with Emeka, the man I truly loved, I conceived. This child is his, not Ikena's." Her father was furious. Her mother wept. Her brother stared in shock. But she knelt down, pleading, "Please do not cast me away. Come with me to Ikena's family. I must confess. I cannot continue to live this lie." A week later, with her family behind her, Chioma stood in Ikena's sitting room.
She knelt, tears flowing uncontrollably. "Ikena, forgive me. I deceived you. I never conceived for you. This boy is not your son. He is Emeka's. I never loved you. I only married you for money. I was wrong. But now I want to be free. I am no longer interested in this marriage." The silence was deadly. Ikena's hands shook. His pride as a man was shattered. At first he roared in anger. He broke glasses, shouted, and nearly struck her. But after hours of silence, he slumped into a chair. "Chioma, you destroyed me. But if this is the path you want, then go. I release you. It will not be easy to forgive, but I cannot force you to stay." Chioma filed for divorce officially. Ikena, though bitter and humiliated, signed the papers. Society mocked him, but he tried to heal. For Chioma, it was both freedom and shame, but mostly relief. Months later, in a simple but heartfelt ceremony, Chioma and Emeka were married. There were no dignitaries, no flamboyant decorations, just genuine love, family, and blessings. As they exchanged vows, Emeka whispered, "This time, I will never let you go." Chioma wept, holding his hand tightly. Soon after, Emeka secured a good job in the U.S. They both relocated, taking their son with them.
Life was not perfect, but it was peaceful. For the first time in years, Chioma felt truly at home. She cooked for Emeka, supported his dreams, and raised their son with love. Each night, as they lay side by side, Emeka would whisper, "We walked through fire, but love brought us out alive." And Chioma, holding his hand, would reply, "And I will never betray you again." Chioma thought she had won when she chose wealth over love. But years later, fate proved that lies can only last for a while. In the end, truth always rises, no matter how deeply buried. She lost her pride, her status, her marriage, but she gained back what money could never buy: true love, peace, and a family built on honesty. Ikena was left broken, but he learned that forcing love only leads to pain. And Emeka, the man once rejected and forgotten, rose again, stronger, wiser, and finally complete with the woman he had always loved. Chioma's story is a reminder: wealth without love is emptiness, and love without truth is destruction. But when love survives betrayal and fire, it becomes unshakable. What would you do if you were in her place? Tell us in the comments below, because this is where the real discussion begins. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss the next shocking chapter. Smash that like button if this story touched you, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Trust me, the next story will be even more unbelievable. Until then, stay tuned.